just wanted to send some words of encouragement. Y'all stay focused. Y'all keep working hard. Believe in yourself. Prove everybody that doubts y'all wrong. Show up every day. Stay pure. Keep your heart pure. Stay motivated. Stay inspired. Show love to your people. From Nip Hustle.
Hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Janae and you're on Janae's Gabfest. So today we have a pretty deep topic that we're going to be discussing, and you can tell by the title, you can tell by the intro of this video who we're talking about. Okay, and we're going to be talking about King Nipsey. My plan is to post this video on Thursday the 11th, which is going to be the day of his celebration. I'm going to try to get the video out because I kind of want everybody to be able to absorb everything. But we're going to just break down everything starting from the beginning of this day up until new information that I was just finding out today. So I will be inserting a few different video clippings. I love to fact check, and I don't believe anything unless I can find information proving that this story or this headline is accurate. I'm not going to really believe it. I'm not one of those people that just run out and believe everything that they see on social media. But I don't want this video to be really long. We already have a lot to talk about, so I'm just going to get into it. I'll start here. Let's just get into his business partner and an article that went along with what happened in Nipsey's last day. He was home, not planning on doing anything that required him to have security. He got a call from a jailhouse friend, and I use that term loosely just because I feel like things are all connected, which we'll touch back on a little later in this video. So he got a call from a old friend who had done some time and, you know, was looking to get back on his feet. So Nipsey being Nipsey, he wanted to help him. He had already gave his security the day off. He didn't want to make them come back into work, you know, because that's just the type of guy he is. You know, you guys are off work. It is what it is. I'm not going to be there long. Let me just go help him out. Supposedly, no one knew that he was going to be at the Marathon store. So, he was there with his business partner and the gentleman who had just got out of jail. And they were talking and things like that. And in the midst of that conversation, the coward that took Nipsey's life walked up. Nipsey dismissed him, for lack of better words, and, you know, basically was just like, you're a known snitch. I don't fuck with snitches. If you would like to provide us with your paperwork, then maybe we can talk about your demo. Supposedly, you know, that was the purpose of his conversation, to come have a conversation about his music and things like that. Right. So for me, it's just a little, okay, yeah, but I'm gonna break it down for y'all. So by Nipsey telling him, go get your paperwork, he was saying, go get your police file so that I can look at your police file and see if you're a snitch. Because one thing about being a snitch, working for the government, however you want to call it, being an informant, helping them out, you know, it's going to be in your file. It's no different from a permanent record. You have a permanent police file, a criminal record, criminal file, all of that stays the same. When you're a snitch, when you work for them, it's in your file. So that's what he meant by telling him, go get your paperwork, and then we can do business if your paperwork checks out. He knew that that was never going to be an option. He knew what his paperwork said. Now, me personally, I don't know. But based off of what happened, I can make assumptions. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're all doing. But I'm here just to shed light on my interpretation of the whole situation. This was definitely a premeditated murder. This was definitely a setup. And this is definitely just not an envious hate crime. It's way deeper than that. Because at the end of the day, they send us to kill us. So that way they can just say it was us. At the end of the day, and you're incarcerated, you're a snitch. If they want someone gone, why not use someone that already doesn't like them? That way they kind of get fun out of it. Hey, you already don't like this kid. We don't really care about him. We just want him to shut up. So, hey, go kill him, you know. But you have to make sure he's dead. You know, there's a deep level of hatred that you have to kill someone the way Nipsey was killed. So, no, I can't just say that that was just an organized attack from a complete stranger. No, I'm absolutely sure he had history with Nipsey aside from just meeting him and running into him the day that he took his life. You know, I'm sure that there was anger behind that. You know, that's why he did it the way he did it, stumping on him after you already shot him. You know, that implies personal relation. And it may not have been personal on Nipsey's end, but it was definitely personal on his. So I just want people to understand that just because someone has a personal vendetta against someone else doesn't mean they still can't be working for someone else. He already didn't like Nipsey. He already had an issue with him. He already was jealous of him. He already was envious of him. People wanted Nipsey to be quiet. And people knew that he was not going to be quiet on his own. So why not use someone that has a vendetta against him? Someone that's gang affiliated in some way. Whether they're a snitch or not, they're affiliated. And then that way we can classify it as just another homicide, gang related. You know, poor guy who was trying to better his community, but hey, just taken out by gang violence like black people are just taken out, right? And then people move on. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to be quiet and just move on. Not with this one. I have a email that was sent to a person with a podcast on Twitter. I will go back and find the tweet and link the tweet. I am going to read it to you guys. Okay, so, hey Armin. This is the person with the podcast. I listen to your podcast, but I don't do social media. I wanted to share some information on what happened that day. I have a lot of family in the area, and this is what I have learned from them. Nip was supposed to be at the store that day. It was not planned. He wasn't doing much, was chilling at home when he got a call from a family friend that he had just been released from prison after 20 years. Nip being Nip had an idea while talking to him that he wanted to get his friend some brand new clothes and shoes so he would look clean when he reunited with his family. He offered to meet him at the store to hook him up with several new outfits free of charge. Nip decided not to call his security. He had already given them the day off and wasn't expecting to be at the store long. Eric, the coward, had just gotten out of jail and was walking around trying to get his music released and passed around. Pause. The person that murdered Nipsey had just been released not too long ago. The person that got Nipsey to the store had just been released. We have to look at these things, okay? We don't know if their paths have crossed. This man was reportedly in jail for 20 years. And it's not to question anyone's loyalty in jail, but it's to question loyalty when things like this happen. So that's not sitting well with me, because at the end of the day, I'm ready for him to speak up, because it was reported that he was the one that got shot with Nipsey. So we have Nipsey's business partner, 20-year felon, and 20-year felon's nephew. Okay. The business partner was inside when the first shot was fired. The nephew and the 20-year felon were outside with Nipsey. They both were shot. One of them was a little more injured than the other one. The other one was able to be patched up in the ambulance. I'm ready for a story. You got to tell me something, because I'm not buying that. I'm not buying it because of the simple fact that if you know Nipsey, like, people say things about his character, this is the type of person that he is. So if you want to set him up, there's ways to do it in a way that can come off as not being a little sneaky. It makes you just wonder what happened with these releases. Because at the end of the day, for me, I know a lot about the criminal justice system on both sides. Whether it's dealing with family members that have been incarcerated or dealing with a family member that works in prisons, you know. And we all watch TV. whatever your criminal show is, we all have one at least. A common denominator among all of those shows are local departments being left out of bigger investigations, right? We can all say that. You watch Criminal Minds. Criminal Minds, they're the FBI, right? So they get to come in and take over, right? And take over from what the local department may not know. And, it's plenty of times when characters, from Criminal Minds are withholding information from the locals, correct? Anybody watch Law and Order? I mean, they're the local department, the local police department, and how many times are they told you don't have clearance? It's not your concern. Don't worry about it. It's not your business. What are they going to do? If people have informants, they can't even investigate them anymore. If someone's working with someone, they don't even get to know the details of the case that they're working on. You're investigating someone, let's just say something simple like just a robbery. You're investigating someone for a robbery. You work at the local police department. You arrest him. You interrogate him. Word travels. Hey, FBI, they got your boy down at the precinct. They're trying to book him. Go down there and get your guy. Oh, okay, no problem. They're going to go. They're going to send someone. Where are you taking our prisoner? Oh, don't worry about it. It's not your business. We're going to take custody of him. And then he's never to be seen again. It's not your business. Don't worry about it. You got too many cases on your hand anyway. That's what happens when you are an informant, right? I mean, we see this. So let's not act like it's just absurd that this is going on. I just want people to take that in consideration. People talk about it being a conspiracy, all the stuff. Just take things into consideration and think about things. And really sit back and say, you know what? It's not too damn far-fetched. Because guess what? It's not too damn far-fetched. Okay? Eric had gotten out of jail and was walking around trying to get his music heard and passed around. He spotted Nip in a parking lot, asked if he would listen to his music, and maybe do a song with him. Nip had several children around, all very small. So because Eric had been labeled a snitch, Nip did not want someone spotting Eric there and retaliated, endangering everyone around. So he told him no, he could not help him with his music, and he had to leave. Nip saw the hurt in Eric's eyes. When he said that, again, Nip being Nip offered him an olive branch by telling him if he wasn't a snitch, you could bring your papers and we could check it out, and then maybe we'll be able to help you. Eric seemed cool with it. He brought himself a burger and left. 20 minutes later, as Nip is getting ready to leave, Eric comes walking back. People saw him but did not think anything of it because Nip had already told him to get his paperwork and come back, so that's why they thought he was returning. He approached and opened fire on everyone. The guy had just got out of prison that day after doing 20 years, was shot. And so was his nephew. No one had a gun on them. What people in the neighborhood are saying may have happened is Eric probably had ill feelings towards Nip for a long time, jealousy, envy, self-hate, and saw an opportunity when he saw Nip without security. Nip always rode in his neighborhood with security. He was not stupid because he was loved in his neighborhood. There's an old video of Nip explaining the dangers of coming back to your hood. It's just that day was a spur of the moment for a family friend. Nip was talking about employing that friend at one of his businesses as Eric approached. So Eric asked Nip for help, noticed his security absent, and decided to take advantage of it because that would probably never happen again. Nip was caught slipping because his main concern was getting his friend back on his feet after a long prison stay, so his safety was an afterthought. It was just Nip being Nip. People in the neighborhood are absolutely shattered and frustrated. The streets could not get him first before he was arrested. So the rest of the letter just goes over the killings of the Coward's family, and how even though the streets were willing to, as he referred to it, the Rolling 60 initiated what they call 60 days and 60 nights. They were prepared to kill whomever they needed to daily to get him, even if it took months. He did say in his letter, we all know that Nipsey would not condone all of these murders. in his name. But people are going to do what they want to do when it comes to avenging someone that they cared about, especially someone that was shot so viciously. I want to actually get into his actual death and leading up into it. So, referring back to the 20 minutes of the coward being gone and leaving to go retrieve a gun, obviously, to kill Nipsey, Nipsey made a tweet. His last tweet was, "Having enemies is a blessing." And everyone, said, oh, the tweet was tweeted within an hour of his passing. So to just clarify, time is very close, especially when you take into consideration the time he was in the parking lot on the ground, the time it took them to get him to the hospital, and for the first doctor that seen his body to pronounce him dead. So it was a very close call with that tweet. And I feel like that's another thing that it's hard to swallow, because we all know that he's a very wise person. So for me, it was kind of a thought of, did he know? Did he feel it coming? Did he know that this was about to be the end for him? So that's just kind of where I go when I think of his tweet. And just touching on how I interpreted his tweet. And this was, I will say, maybe 5 to 6 days after his passing, when I was even able to dissect his tweet in an emotionally detached way. So just looking at the words and breaking it down, having enemies is a blessing. Looking at what has happened with social media, with the world since his passing, it's been a sad blessing, but it has been a blessing. Because it made a lot of us wake up and realize that we don't have forever with our favorite celebrities. We don't have forever with our closest relatives. We don't have forever with our closest friends. So we have to, one, let people know how we feel about them, but two, just support and encourage and pay attention to the Nipseys in your own city. To the people surrounding you that are trying to be positive and help uplift them. That's one of the biggest things, was just uplifting people around you and uplifting your community. Nipsey was a great example of building that gap between the inner cities and the suburbs. Doesn't excuse the facts that still remain. This was a fucking setup. Okay? We may not know who and what department of the government was behind it, but this was definitely a fucking setup. We all know what he was working on.
You're doing a documentary, is that true?
Yeah, I'm working on one. We doing a collection of info on Dr. Sebi.
Yeah.
We just left his space today to get some more products.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Again, like when I seen your doc on Haiti, it made me think, why people don't know about, why it gotta be somebody's agenda for us to not know about this story.
Yeah.
So when I found out about Sebi, and it's about his case that he beat in 1985.
Yeah, that AIDS case.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Why isn't that like the no disrespect, like Rosa Parks? We all know about Rosa Parks didn't get up from her seat. That's an honorable example of somebody from our history.
Yes, indeed.
Sebi going to court and proving that he cured AIDS.
Absolutely.
Come on, why we don't know about that?
Absolutely.
And
and he just died mysteriously down there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you know how they play.
Oh yeah.
Niggas was tweeting me, Hustle, be careful, man. Your plane gonna go down. I say, you niggas better ride for me.
Yeah,
Nigga.
that's what I'm saying. Don't pray, ride for a nigga.
Yeah,
I tell
that's
him,
it.
yeah. But that's heavy.
We need to ride for him. We need to ride for him. We need to ride for him. Period. That's all there is to it. We just need to continue to keep Nipsey's legacy alive, continue to keep Nipsey's message alive, continue to keep Nipsey Hussle alive. That's all. We just have to empower your black brothers, empower your black sisters, because when we stand together, we are unstoppable. Unstoppable. Okay? So they know that once we can unite, all hell is gonna break loose for them. So for me and people like me, this death has woken that fighter up in me. That it has woken up that, okay, you're trying to silence us for real. So just think about that. Think about what Nipsey wanted. Think about everything that Nipsey stood for. Think about everything that I said in this video. Think about everything that you've seen, everything that you've seen on social media, everything that you've heard from your friends. Just think about everything and just absorb it and really think about what you want out of this world. And are you giving good to this world? Are you being good for this world? Like, subscribe, thumbs up this video. Check out the description box for any details that are going to be left behind that I mentioned during this video, as well as all of my social medias that I am on. And if you want a deeper video, we could get deeper. Okay, if you want deeper topics, you know, let me know. I do have an email address. It is gabwithjanay@gmail.com. And again, that is Gab, G-A-B, with Janay, J-A-N-A-Y, @gmail.com. And you can send me any comments, questions, scenarios, topics that you may want my opinion about, anything that you want to see discussed on this channel. You know, this is a free and open channel. I want everyone to feel welcome. Everyone is welcome. That's all I gotta say on this video. It's been super deep. It's been super long. And thank you for watching. I hope to see you again.